band away is just being able to introduce some new flavor to the overall table. But one of the things that we always loved about Camille and Wild Rift is that not only the flexibility of being going to Baron lane or jungle if you still want to pilot it, but the reliability of a point and click lockdown with that Hextech ultimatum. So the response, though, from the other side, Alistar and Vi being picked up. Also point and click CC from the cease and desist, as well as Alistar reliable engage for team fights. Just already a powerhouse of CC for the team.
Yeah, I mean, the Alistar first pick was definitely not one I would expect a priority, as well as the Vi.
Okay, my bad. I didn't engage the reaction quite correctly yet. I was like, oh, well, Alistar, that seems nice. It's like...
yeah. No, it's definitely been one of the it's a bit different in NA than it is to EU. Alistar definitely doesn't see the light of day in EU, but in NA we do generally get the Alistar pick, but it's normally sort of like your 4th, 5th picks. They wait till to see what the enemy team picks for their support, because right now Puddi still has the likes of the Galio still up as well for their support pick, which synergizes really well with the Camille. They've gone for the Jace. Jace has got a tremendous he hasn't received any nerfs recently, but has a tremendous win rate within competitive right now as well. And they've gone for the 6 APC, so that massive range, massive damage on that ult. So they've got some really good picks here on Puddi. They still have quite a few great picks left open.
Yeah, already Puddi with long range poke is the name of the game, and I know that that first strike rune being added to Wild Rift is insane with champions like this. You just farm gold, and the cooldown is much more frequent up on the uptime versus the counterpart in League. As I was playing around with some of the runes in practice tool last night, I was like, wow, this rune seems broken on these types of champions. So already it's going to be up to red team before they even completed their composition. They need to get access to the backline. Thankfully, things like Akali and Vi are going to be just really damn good and reliable for that. So now the question is, what 2 champions can Puddi round this composition up with that helps create a fortress for the Ziggs? The Jace has ways to disengage the fight reliably by himself, and it's not that he can tango melee 1-on-1, but you do want to protect the Ziggs when it goes late game, because he will be your powerhouse damage.
Definitely, yeah. I don't think I've seen a ranked competitive match, without Ziggs going anywhere below 34k damage, but it looks like Volibear has not been banned, and it's looking like that is going to be Puddi's jungle pick, which once again solidifies that big, massive front line with the Rakan as well. Great front line for the entire of Puddi there. Ziggs could pretty much become untouchable within these team fights thanks to Rakan's knock-up, and as well, obviously, Volibear jumping over those walls and doing bits with that health and armor. So it's going to be interesting to see what styles goes for the last pick. They go for the Jarvan 4. Okay. That's interesting. Mid lane Jarvan against the Jace. Normally it's the Garen, but Garen's been banned out. Camille normally goes down to mid lane when it becomes something against the Jace as well. But the Jarvan, that's a new matchup that I haven't seen before. So interested to see that.
Yeah, the solo lane Jarvan, that's like Summoner Series back in the OG days, before Riot was like, okay, we'll officially give you the WNS, title. This was when I want to say like 2021 fall, where we didn't really see Jarvan in the mid lane though, but we saw it a lot in the top lane. Summonary was like a rune back then. You would run with it, or Fleet, and it was Fleet. You would just run super sustain runes and just bypass the lane, poke with your flag, and then the idea with Jarvan is that you have Cataclysm. That is such an incredible, reliable engage tool you have for your team. That is just the name of the game for the red side here in ZGG or style. I'm sorry. Hang on. I just lost my screen. I am so sorry. But yeah, red side, tons of engage, tons of reliable ways to get onto the backline here. With Jarvan on your side as well, with the Vi, it is going to be so tough for Gume on this Ziggs to try and survive. You have to depend on your front line to really protect and peel these threats off for you.
Definitely, definitely. And we do see the Jarvan going for the first strike as well, which is very interesting to go against the Jace, because most times out of 10, especially within the laning phase, is definitely not going to be able to proc that first strike because of Jace having not only the close quarter combat mode, he also has that range poke damage as well, which I can see him procting a lot more than the Jarvan, unless Jarvan uses his third ability to movement speed out of the way of those massive poke damage potential from Jace. But yeah, very, very interesting pick in that mid lane. I'm very interested to see how it plays out. And obviously, Jarvan's now got the damage reduction within the Cataclysm now. So that has been brought in from not this patch, but the previous one. So when he is taken out or honing in onto these champions, that damage reduction is going to serve him well within his Cataclysm.
Wait, what? That's a thing?
That's a thing. It is a thing now.
Oh my god! I need to play some more Jarvan. That's incredible. Wait. So, okay, now my mind is racing, but we're not gonna have time for that because with Wild Rift, anything can happen. As already, been some aggressive trades on both of these side lanes here. But man, Blam, in between these games, we're gonna have to do some theory crafting because the damage reduction on your ulti, like that's almost like Galio ulti, or I guess you would get not necessarily damage reduction, you would get the like there's something. Oh my gosh, the differences in Wild Rift and PC League is always so fascinating, and there's sometimes changes like, damn, I wish they would do this for League, you know, like that. Wild Rift superior game changed my mind. Anyway, back to you, Plan.
Yeah, no worries. I gotta say, yeah, it busted my brain when I saw that first come through on the patch notes, and it's definitely influenced my jungle pick in my own games. I am definitely going a lot of victories with Jarvan jungle right now. He is definitely on top in terms of my own personal tier list. But yeah, we can talk about Jarvan's changes and LoL PC for quite some time if we weren't actually casting the match. But yeah, we've seen a lot of nasty engages, a lot of nasty poke damage here. The Volibear with a massive engage over the wall. It's a 3-on-2 under the turret. They take first blood. Puddi there very easily because of Volibear just having that massive amount of health even early game.
You know, Blam, there are massive changes in the game, and there are some things that never change. Like Sentinels, or the archetype of Sentinels roster, diving bottom or dragon lane before 3 minutes into the game, very early on. This seems very classic style of what Molly, Gume, and Ledmon would always do. Starting was also getting a lot of mid priorities. He might just look for another solo kill. Shock blast.
Oh!
There it is!
Wow, nicely done. Nicely done. Obviously, Jace's kit aided very well there by the first strike and the ignite. We get the Vi going in, forcing the flash into the turret, but 2v1. Once again, that is a return to sender for Puddi there. So nicely done for Styles getting a kill. No longer a no-kill wonder. They are now 1 to 2 kills, which is good, but the goal difference is actually still quite far away from Styles here. It's a good almost 3k difference already 3 minutes into the match.
Yeah, most of it is through that bottom side of the map. In fact, the fact that Ledmon has most of that gold means that he's trying to pay the love over to the side lane as Gume just handles himself beautifully in the 1v2. Got more action on the top side though, Blam.
Okay. Oh, nice job in there, taking out the Camille before she could even use Hextech Ultimatum. The Volibear looking pretty low as well. Rakan there with a life-saving shield, but Jarvan's still in there. Jarvan still happily going to take that 2v1, but they have managed to retreat under the turret. Fortunately for Puddi, so there's a lot of brawls going on. I'm pretty sure I don't envy her as a producer right now. I've been in this situation many times when I've been casting and producing my own game. Like there, we didn't actually get to see the Jace kill in the enemy jungle, but well played to start in, going 1v1 against Big Wall, getting the kill. Yeah,
it looked like he was tracking Big Will. Oh, Big Wall. All right. Dyslexia moment. My bad, y'all. Starting with
renamed Big Will.
Yeah, you know, small text on my screen. There we go. But anyway, the fact that Starting was able to track the Vi after the play on the top side, just great presence of minds and awareness. And this is the nice thing about you're going to have about JC. It's just so easy for him to constantly shove these waves in, which gives him so much agency and so much uptime on the map to be able to influence. And right now, it doesn't seem like Styles really respecting that priority and presence from Jace at the moment. They were able to get 1 kill on him early on, as you already called, but the fact that he has his Serpent's Fang up already to go. A lot of item spikes. Lepmon? Uh-oh. Well, you know what? I've seen Ledmont not need flash in worse situations, so, you know, he'll be just fine.
He'll be all good.
Wait, is there a Hex Flash in this game too?
Yes, Hex Flash is new in the game as well.
Let's go! Okay. Right.
Quite a bit to pick apart for yourself, Rafa. You realizing all this within a match, which is it's beautiful, to be fair, mate. But nicely done by Style Esports there, or ZGG. They managed to get the Rift Herald, put it down in the mid lane. Not quite managed to finish off the Terry yet. Can Shelly do it? Not quite, with not enough damage onto that mid lane turret, unable to take it out. But Startin has done it all by himself in that bot lane, taking the Dragon Lane turret from Style.
Yeah, that's quite huge for the side of Puddi. Anytime you usually get Rift Herald, that's a guaranteed first brick in your book, but they were able to defend the charge and make sure that it did not take out the mid lane tier 1. Starting picking up the bottom side 1 gives them that extra bit of gold. They're still only 3,000 gold above, or it's now about 4,000. It's kind of teetering in that range at the moment. But so far, Style has done their damnedest to try and ensure that the gold lead doesn't snowball, because if that starts happening, even though you have all these tools of reliability and engage, it's going to be so difficult because you're just going to get blown up by the time you make that entry, because your frontliners and the champions that have to dive through all the crowd control and the damage, they're just going to get annihilated before they even connect.
Definitely. I mean, Puddi are giving them a very good run for their money. They are pretty much 5k gold difference here. Puddi just getting these, being able to catch out Style very easily, especially not so much in that instance there with the Akali, but once again here with the Alistar. Alistar's had to die here. He had to bear the burden for Vi and Akali to actually escape, because I feel like the Ziggs, the Volibear, and the Jace would have just completely bypassed that first tier turret and found them in a bush, or made them retreat to a further place up there. Ziggs getting a nice second turret for Puddi, and that is all first tier turrets down for Style, which is not great in terms of that gold that is being given from these turrets, because turret plating has only now just fallen, so they've still been able to get that bonus gold from that turret plating. Bit of a kickoff here going on the red side of the jungle. Alistar taking a lot of damage. Rakan going into the backline onto the Akali there, doing a lot of damage. Jace, Jarvan. Yeah, Jarvan going down there, even though that damage reduction within the Cataclysm is within the game. The Cataclysm just got broken, so there was no damage reduction there, unfortunately, for Mr. Jarvan.
Blam, we just saw a cataclysmic chain of events, and it all started by one play from Style where they looked for a pick on the starting on the top side of the map. They get answered back by quick rotations with the rest of the team of Puddi, and that snowballed into just continuous pick after pick after pick after pick. It's just the punish of like Puddi saying, hey, you cannot be here, you cannot make this play. And now that you already see with the gold difference, you just get to mollywop everyone that comes your way.
Yeah, that Vi got massively baited into that fight there, because Volibear just went straight over the wall, now racking up a double kill, as well as Jace as well. So we've got Puddi running away into the field with the double kills as well. I mean, just look at the goal difference just alone in the mid lane. So currently, Jace just off the mark with now 10k goal difference compared to the Jarvan that's at 5.8k, which is a drastic amount of gold, especially just a lane alone. It's massive. I'm not too sure what Style can do to bring this match back. I think it's probably just, let's see what we can learn from Puddi's plays this time around and see if we can actually put it into effect into this next match. because the second dragon is up. I'm pretty sure that Style have got to do something. Yep, they managed to take out the Ziggs. I mean, that could have been fatal for Style because they could have lost their jungler there. Massive amounts of damage for Jace onto the Ezreal. We see Jarvan going in as well. Status nicely. It's going to keep him alive. The Rakan's in there. Double kill over the wall for the Volibear, taking out the Vi, taking out the Ezreal, taking down the Alistar as well. It's going to be a team wipe before Infernal Dragon is up.
Great timing for Puddi. You know what, Gume? Sacrifices must be made for the greater good of this squad, as they invested a lot of resources just to make that pick happen. And because they're still down quite a amount of gold and being overextended in the jungle, and it allows Puddi for a quick rotation in to capitalize on the Styles. I mean, you have to make those plays to try and come back in this game, which I totally respect. It's just such a difficult hill to really make your way over at this point. Usually, when we've seen gold leads like this in the past, we usually start talking about the next game. Or we start thinking about, all right, well, what went wrong in the early game? But the fact that Styles is still showing some spirit means that there's still potentially a game here, but I could not that Puddi does not close this game out.
Ooh, this Akali is just literally, she must have like a 4-leaf clover in a pocket, I swear. Because she's just getting away with so little health every engage. If she's not dead, she's literally running away with a millimeter of health on that bar. Rakan almost nicely taking out the Akali. We do have to point out there, Vi getting the kill on starting. Nicely done. Taking out that big powerhouse that is Jace currently on the style of Puddi. I think that's a good place to start, is maybe take out the Jace. Let's see what we can do with these team fights. But even then, they got the Ziggs. And, Puddi's got these massive amounts of damage. Of health, sorry, on the likes of Volibear and Camille, and the Rakan's still sitting there untouched, which is scary. The fact that he's got Glacial Augment as well when he goes in on these engages, with the damage reduction from that, the movement speed decrease on the enemy team. It's a definitely a dream piece of kit onto the Rakan. So I think in terms of I think this kind of fell apart in the draft, personally. Even though we got some great picks on the side of Style, it definitely doesn't peep the sort of the meta picks like the Jace, the Volibear, the Camille. Even though that one slipped through the net, that was a priority pick, MTS with the Camille. It's not like they've gone massive in terms of the kills on the Camille, but it's been there for utility's sake, for the sake of the team fight as well. Yeah. So even though it was a priority pick, it's not done massive bits, but it has been a massive aid for Puddi.
The Baron being turned up by Puddi just to lure Styles over. Huge fight in the river now as Molly just front lines most of the damage. He actually gets taken out. Cataclysm isolating him from the rest of the squad. And starting to get into the backline here. Oh, Arvoinen, huge knock-up here. But it's just the damage overload from Gume. And when he's unchecked, he just unloads with massive fury. The Styles goes all the way down, fully aced, and it's back to the Baron for Puddi.
That is crazy. What was looking like a possible okay moment for Style there? I was like, right, okay, let's see what moves we can make now. Just turned into complete ace for Puddi there. They only lost their jungle, but then they started off by taking out the enemy jungle, which was probably the right call, even though they've got squishier champions on the team. Taking out the Vi means that they don't have the smite, and it means they don't have the hone-in ult or the great sort of shield takedown with the Vi as well. But yeah, I think that was a really good callback for the Puddi team here when they went against Style within that matchup, because honestly, I thought we was going to actually see a little bit of a turnaround there, a little bit of give and take, but it was the tiniest sliver of give, and then the rest was just taken away by Puddi, unfortunately.
It's like, we got Molly, guys! We got him! It's like, but at what cost, you know? Like, we exhausted everything. We've fully committed. There's no way out now.
It was like the Thanos meme.
I am inevitable. Well, you know what's also inevitable, Blam? Puddi closing out this game, being able to disable turrets on Volibear. When that was added to Wild Rift, I already knew that was going to be incredibly damn good. And we saw the repercussions of that as Molly made great use of it in the early game. And Styles, you know,
They may as well finish off with a kill for Volibear, death from Volibear there. And they wrap up that game easily with that 1-0. But like we've already spoke about within this match, that what went wrong was possibly the draft and definitely that early game lead that Puddi had. I mean, we was at 3 minutes in, they had 3k gold ahead, and then not only that, we were seeing Marley jump over the walls with the Volibears in the 3-on-2 engages under the turrets, getting some massive plays. But rather than us analyze it, we do have Mr. Pierce here with us today to analyze. So, what did you take from that match, mate?
Yeah, I think you kind of mentioned it towards the end of the game. I think the draft is a big part. We talked like during the draft, and they had a really strong like potential engage with this like the getting into the backline against like the Ziggs potentially. I think that was kind of a big part of their idea there. With the Vi engage, the Jarvan engage, and the Alistar. And Akali can follow up fairly safely with the Shroud. But